We're just kind of taking a little time today to try and get some stories of our graduates, what your experience was at Coleman and what you've done since.
Great. It's actually a pretty interesting story. I started in Coleman way back, in early years of career development, 18, right? So without direction, and I'd always wanted to, work with electronics. So I thought that I would, I needed a career path. Coleman was available. My friends were going. I could do that. So I did the tech school for the 6800 processor. You can date myself. This is
I was
back.
going to say, now I know when
Right,
you graduated.
exactly. And it was in the La Mesa building.
Okay, the bowling alley.
The bowling alley, which I bowled in when I was 11 in the leagues. So it was kind of interesting to go back to the school and take what would become a 35-year career. Start there in that bowling alley. So from there, I had returned immediately to take the associate's degree in electronics. I thought I would be doing board level repair in bars to Pac-Man machines, right? So right out of school, again working with my friends who were in the same program, was able to secure my first job immediately, which was this was a really great experience. I was doing project management, installing computer systems at banks around the country in the U.S. So
That's your first job?
It was my first job for Citicorp, yeah, big organization. So I was instructing various construction managers on raised floor requirements, cabling requirements, electric requirements, and then I would meet up with folks from Data General, which obviously is no more, but they would come out and hook up the computer, and mostly my job was to coordinate the telecommunications side. So after the planning, you would return and do the installation with the telecommunications, cabling and connectivity, and set up the training environments, et cetera. These were all for credit unions. So there's a couple of large outfits today, Scimitar and some others that are selling software. I think there's one across the street from you at on Balboa, right? So is where they moved into. Jack Henry is actually the company. But that career helped me get into a local company here, SAIC. And I used that knowledge of the networking to secure that job. And I was there for 14 years. And during that time, the internet blew up around me. And I came to a point where I realized I needed some more education. So in '95, I returned. I got a bachelor's degree in computer science. Then while at my third job, Hitachi, I decided I needed some more education. And I took the master's degree in business and technology. And that was a really great experience. It was online, and I was able to, traveling a lot for Hitachi, back and forth to the Bay Area. We went on a honeymoon during that time, so I was able to continue the studies online and earn that master's degree. So it's been a great time. Only one time did I ever go to the graduation, and it was for the master's degree. I figured it was time to attend one, and Mr. Furr was there, and I took the opportunity to thank him for the, offering the opportunity that I could leverage, from that education to drive and propel myself in 35 years of IT experience.
What do you think you learned at Coleman that's most helped you in your career?
Well, I think all of the technology and the book learning was great, but my approach, getting a job first, and then working in the industry, and learning, how things work, business-wise, and not just the technology, really helped me when I came back to take the bachelor's degree, and then the master's degree, and be able to recognize from the book learning a lot of the concepts that I was already, either using, maybe kind of rethink, re-engineer, and just kind of evaluate my own personal performance. So I'm using some of these technologies, but maybe or processes or management styles, and I didn't know what to necessarily call them. So that helped me put kind of a understanding around, what it is I'm doing and how it fit into the larger picture of business. And so that kind of led to, moving my career into more strategic and vision thinking, in terms of senior management. So I think that's the mixture of having the work, in the workplace, the experience in the workplace, at the same time, learning from the books and from others, being mentored, in these areas, is a great blend, a great mix. And I think it's really important to continue that education with both your work experience, but also with your education experience, and make sure you're getting both.
So do you think from Coleman you learned a confidence in your ability to learn new things?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's probably the best thing about Coleman, that you can come back and get caught up on some of the newer technologies. Mm-hmm. And I'm actually looking for some more assistance from Coleman on a second career, if you will, or a third career. So I'm looking to be perhaps more specific. Mm-hmm. Back 20 years ago, you were in IT, and IT was one big happy pool of worker bees. And now it's very specialized with various degrees of certifications, disciplines, and you really have to focus on a particular discipline that employers are looking for. When you get out in the job market, you start advertising yourself. If you do not have specific background in a particular discipline or a particular type of technology, you'll have a hard time, securing a position. So I'm hoping to come back to Coleman and maybe look at a couple of the offerings, especially around cybersecurity or perhaps mobile applications and such like that. Something I can perhaps use in a post-career activity, okay. Perhaps more working from home environments or consulting type environments or those types of things.
What advice would you have for our students?
It's taken me around the world, almost. So I don't think that I would have had the opportunity to travel without this career path, and I have to thank Coleman for helping me get on that path. I've been to Singapore, and I've been to London. I've been all over the United States on various opportunities. One of the things that I'd said to myself in the late 90s, when the .com was blowing up, so I wanted to maybe move from San Diego to a job that was maybe paying more in San Francisco, perhaps. And the one thing I told myself is I would never want to go out and work in the oil field. And I would never want to work on an oil rig. I don't want to be in Texas, right? So this is EDS, Ross Perot, the whole bit, right? So if there were the hot spots were Texas because of EDS and San Francisco. So I wouldn't want to go to Texas, and I certainly wouldn't want to be on an oil rig. The last 30 months, I happened to, from a friend of mine who had an employment opportunity, and I was looking, had a big contract in Texas in the oil field. And I found myself for 30 months working on the oil rigs, installing microwave telecommunications networking to the oil companies, to their rigs. Best group of people, best industry, had a great time, just wonderful. Of course, I got out about 6 months ago, just before everything crashed. So, but it was a wonderful experience. So, it's careful what you wish for and never say never.